Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your elemental bonus reading for the month of November for the element of water. Water covers the zodiac signs of Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So all of our fishies out there. So if you are Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or have water high up in your chart, then this is for you. And I'm just shuffling the cards here real quick to get our pattern going. Celtic Cross is our bonus reading pattern, so it takes me a couple of seconds extra to pull the cards because there's a few of them there, 10 minimum usually. And then if you've never had your charts, your astrology charts read, there is a link in the description. It's not sponsored or anything. It'd be nice if I could get there, but we're not there yet. But it is for a natal chart from Llewellyn, and it is a really good base level chart. It gives you your 12 houses with all the little signs and symbols, and then there's a 10 to 20 page description of what all that means. And then there's also the fun part. There is a section on the elemental alignment in there, so you can get an idea of what all your elements are. And sometimes when you're first starting out, the elements are a little easier to understand than the full astrology, so worth checking out. With that, we'll get started here with our cards, with our Celtic Cross. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, comment, and as you're commenting, if you see something different with the cards, different intuitive guidance, I read intuitively, so it's always interesting to hear what other people have to say. Feel free to leave that in the comments as well. And water, you're starting off as a significator, so this is who you are as a snapshot in this moment. You have number 21, the universe. In some decks, this is the world card, but this is meaning a cycle has reached its close, and in spiritual terms, this means the current mode of study, the current pattern you've been in, whatever it is wrapping itself up. This is a celebration time, a time to take a break, but then it also means you're getting ready to start the next chapter. You don't know what that chapter is just yet, but you're in that sense of accomplishment. Things have fallen into place, things are going forward the way they're supposed to. So as a snapshot in time, this is a very strong indicator that Earth or water, you have completed a great deal of work to achieve this level of knowledge. It could be with business, it could be with home finances, but generally I'm getting the impression for this month for our water people is this is our spiritual growth. Like you've achieved a certain plateau level where you've climbed a certain level of the mountain, and now you can actually just not so much take a stop, because spirituality doesn't stop, but you're able to say, I've completed this aspect of a journey. If you were in like a Wiccan coven, it could be that you've completed a certain degree level. If you're in like the Golden Dawn or one of the lodges, you've completed that degree level. This is a time where you've completed something that you've been working on for a while. So that's pretty a positive coming forward there. The energy that's crossing you, this is a challenge, something to think about, something to work on, is Six of Swords. And with this one, it's saying that there is an opportunity for guiding someone here, but you're not sure if you're ready for it, you're not sure how you're going to handle it. You have proof that you have done all of the skills before, and now you're above the situation, but you're not sure if you're ready for the teaching aspect. And the universe wants to say, this is a time for you to study yourself. If you're not ready for the teaching position, to take on an apprentice, so to speak, then that's fine. If you're not ready to have children right now, that's fine. But be aware, you have the knowledge you need. You've been through enough now to be able to step into that role without question. So if you're not feeling led that direction just yet, then that's acceptable. And like in a work situation, maybe you're not the one ready to start teaching the next group of people that come in. You're not ready to instruct them on certain aspects, and that's fine. But be aware that's going to be the challenge that comes up for this month, this time period that's going forward here. So your higher self I'm not sure how to feel about this for a higher self card. We have the Three of Swords. There's been some kind of a betrayal, and your higher self is saying you've risen even above that. You've risen above the conquest of others. People who've been trying to like trip you up, whether it was at work, a partner, an ex-partner cheated on you at some point. You have risen beyond that, and that's actually led you to a place of power and authority over your own life, over your own thoughts and emotions. Are you full master yet? Probably not. But you're heading the right direction. And so when your higher self is bringing forward the Three of Swords, it's saying, you've overcome. Remember how far you've walked. You're in the Universe card as your significator. That's major arcana. That's big life lesson energy. That's not something small. That is a lesson that you have gained. The Three of Swords is saying this could have been an intellectual thing where you made a comment to a coworker and they ran off and they used that idea as their own and you missed out on something in the past. But your higher self is saying you've learned from that. You've went through a great deal of headaches, of frustration. With swords, it's air, it's mental, it's intelligence. You've dealt with things before, and because of that you have gained knowledge, you've gained wisdom, and it's moved you into a different state. That's why you're at the Universe stand, where you are able to step up and say, you know what? Yeah, I've learned my lessons, and I'm not going to be put in those situations anymore. So you've got a very strong guidance coming in, reminding you, you've already been there. You've already done this. You don't need to repeat this. And you emotionally and mentally are under no one else's oppression. You don't have to put up with their I almost said no word. You don't have to put up with their garbage anymore. You can literally stand on your own 2 feet. So your shadow, that's interesting, is Judgment, number 20. And with Judgment being another major arcana, it's really saying your shadow is wanting you to bring forward your discernment. Your higher self saying you already did this. You don't have to put up with it anymore. Your shadow is saying, but now you need to understand when these subtleties arise, when someone is trying to be sneaky, shady, whatever. But your shadow is saying you have this gift. It's an intuitive gift. It's a knowledge gift. And it's in your subconscious. It's in your shadow. It's time to bring it forward. When your shadow is bringing up something as powerful and potent as this, it's really saying your intuitive guidance, your gut feelings about situations usually have been correct, even when you've denied them. You don't have to make a big scene over it like, ooh, this situation doesn't feel right. I'm going to step out on this one, and they'll have some success, and then it just crashes and burns. That's what the Universe is saying, is your shadow is wanting you to remember you have this gift. It's already there, whether it was a religious institution, a family, someone shoved it down because, well, that's not correct, or you just need to quit judging them. No, discernment is not judging. It can be. But discernment is where you see a pattern, you see a situation, your instinct is saying, red flags, red alert, don't do this, and you step back, and then everything falls apart because your inner voice already knew. And your shadow is saying, don't forget you have this skill, don't forget you have this talent, it's in the shadow. And what it's saying is this month that is going to be being brought forward for you. So pay attention to those little back of the head, the Jiminy Cricket type things, or the gut feelings, because those are actually the source coming through to your soul saying, pay attention, you really don't want to get involved in this. So that's actually pretty positive. Your immediate history, 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Ten of Pentacles. Water, have you had a really good year this year, or a really good period of time here recently? This is saying success, financial abundance. This is about family abundance, whether you proposed, you moved in together, maybe your spouse or you were pregnant. This is the energy of success. This is the energy of conquering something. This is the energy of you've completed a great deal of work and you've achieved your version of greatness, which actually plays into your current card. Sorry, I have a small desk. I have to do this without dumping everything on the floor. It's always a trick. Your significator card is the Universe. You've achieved everything that you've wanted to this point. Now it's time to find new stuff. With the Ten of Pentacles, it's saying, and you've done this in family. You've done this with finances. You've done this with business. You have stepped ahead of everything that you thought you could do, which is huge, and this is your past. But you've also proven other people who said you couldn't do it wrong. because they didn't think that you would actually be willing to take the steps necessary. But you did, water. This is huge. So your immediate future, the next 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Six of Pentacles. This is the energy of sharing. You've gained, and now it's time to share the wealth. You have increased your knowledge, and now it's time to teach others. It doesn't have to be financial. It can literally be experience. I had this experience. I'm now showing you how to do this correctly, especially if it's in a work situation and you're teaching the next level. You can help them bypass errors because you've already been there, you've already done that, you've already experienced them. So this is a great future you have, because now it's time to share the things that you have learned. You are not giving from a place of lack, and you're not giving to a point of lack. You are giving in the energy of receive this, we both grow. Because in giving, you receive. That's just how it works. So when you start that cycle of intelligent, educational, I just lost the other word, exchange, you actually start to build a vortex of energy that builds and grows. It's not just a one-way street. And that's the thing, is if you're teaching someone and they're straight up not listening, wash your hands, walk away. It's not your problem. Tell your supervisor if that's the situation and be like, they're not listening, they don't want to learn this. Do not waste your time on that. It is a reciprocal thing. They want to learn, they might give you feedback, they might see something you missed. So when you start to build that relationship, that cycle, everything amplifies positively. So that's where your future is, water, and it looks really, so far, really clean. Your inner world, your attitude, the things that are going on in your head, is the Knight of Pentacles. This one is a little interesting because it makes me feel like you're reflecting something to someone else. So your inner world is like, how can I share what I know? How can I spread this? But also it's like, how can I make sure I'm protected from any other situations, especially with your higher self and that Three of Swords. This is that energy of, I want to help, I also want to protect others as well as myself. So you have a really good balance here, and they're saying because of the things that you have done in the personal life with Ten of Pentacles in the past, seven of Pentacles in the future, you're in this energy of, not six, I can't read. You're in this energy of, you've built something, now you're willing to share it, but you're trying to stay protected in the same vein. And that's this energy of where you're still willing to share it, but you're not going to give to the point of sacrifice. You're not going to give to the point where you accidentally give everything and you have nothing left. That's not what this is. That Knight of Pentacles saying, stay cautious in how you share things, because that Three of Swords energy is still there. Your higher self. Don't give pearls to swine, they will trample them. Do not give knowledge to, pardon the expression, a fool, for they will waste it. This is that energy the Knight of Pentacles is saying, is protect what you have earned, share what you are able to share, but do not share everything. So your outer world, this is the energy that's around you, the stuff that that's outside of your control. We have the Four of Cups. So there's some emotions flowing around outside of you, water, which is entertaining considering you're the heart of the ocean. You carry the emotions of the planet. But this is stuff that's outside of you. This is stuff that's flowing in the environment around you. And the Four of Cups is saying there is a little bit of a temptation being offered to you. Well, won't it make you feel better if you do this? Man, it would be so cool if you would just play this little game with me. Don't fall for it. Your environment right now is very seductive. Things are going on around you. It could be, like I said, that work situation. It could be a person that you've met casually that suddenly, if you're in a relationship, they're like, oh, but it's only this one time. Don't do that. The Four of Cups normally is very positive, but in this aspect with the environment, I'm feeling very strongly that this is a seduction that is being offered to you. And it's more of a warning. Like, this is what's being done outside. You do not have to interact, and it's best if you probably don't. And there's a lot of this energy of protecting yourself, the things that you've earned, the things that you hold dear and valuable right now. This whole reading is about, you've had things happen to you, water. It's now time to step away from the chaos, learn the lessons, incorporate them, use your shadow's energy, this judgment, this discernment energy, so that you can tell what's right and wrong, because your higher self is saying, you've already been there, you don't need to repeat this. So really pay attention to that as you're going forward here. Your hopes and fears, that's interesting, is the Empress. The Empress usually is, or not usually, it's the aspect of the divine goddess, it's the divine feminine. And when the Empress shows up, it's usually prosperity, abundance, success in all things, fertility coming to fruition. So when we look at this in this aspect, your hope is all of those things. It's all the positive aspects. But the fear is loss. What happens if I lose those things? What happens if I make the wrong choice and this all falls apart? What happens if I succumb to, which is tricky for water because we are very much emotion-based, what happens if I succumb to my emotions and it runs rampant and causes chaos? The Empress is saying you have mastery of your own emotions. You may not feel like it some days, trust me, but you do have that. And the hope is full success. Everything is going the right way, and your success is going to look different from anyone else's. So don't try to compare to the Joneses down the street. That makes no sense. But when you look at this, there's babies. There's all this life around. There's prosperity. There's abundance. There's peace. That's your hope, water. These are the things that you can aim for as you're going forward. And with the number 3 as well, it's a perfected number. It's the joining and creating of new things. So you're in a really strong hope section. Your fears are actually just as big because when water does anything, it goes all in or all out. So you do have a little bit of a challenge in that, but that's where the Knight of Pentacles can come in to say, protect what you know, don't share what you're not ready to share. Your future is showing sharing with balance. It's not about sharing to the point of suffering. It's sharing what is necessary in that moment. Because you've already been through enough other stuff with your higher self coming in with the 3 of Swords, you don't need to worry as much about the fears. Focus on what's important, which is that hope aspect. So your overall outcome, kind of tying everything together here, is the 3 of Wands. Again, with that 3 energy, you're getting that coming into a balance, coming into fruition. You're also in a position here where you don't really need other people to validate you. Not support. Support is good. You don't need other people to validate you. You've made your decisions. You're king of your castle. You're watching the things that you have built go out into the world and actually improve it. You need no more validation. And the 3 of Wands is saying you have followed your passion and look how far you've come. You followed your passion. Where are you going next? Because you have the universe as your significator saying you've reached a plateau, which is kind of where he's at. You've already been there. You've already done this. What do you want to do next? And if it's in a spiritual sense, this is where you get to make the decision. Do I want to take this to the next level? Am I good where I'm at for the moment? It's your decision. And if it's in a business situation, I've reached this position within the business. I'm good here. But if I wanted to, I could move forward. You've reached a pinnacle for the moment, and you get to decide how far you want to go after this. But it's definitely an energy of take some time, do some reevaluation, do some checking with your inner voice, and really amplify your intuition a little bit, because this is where things play out really well. The underlying theme for all of this, though, so this is kind of what's, but you're kind of not listening to it right now. You're trying to push it down, be like, no, be quiet. You have number 5 in the major arcana. This is the Hierophant. This is the High Priest. This is also a teacher. And when we look at this from that perspective, you're being called to a leadership position. You're being called to share your wisdom and your knowledge. Not to the point of loss, not to the point of sacrifice, but to the point where you are ready to give and receive. The Hierophant, they're coming to you whether you want it or not. That's the thing, water. These people around you, the situations around you, are being drawn to you. This is you up here. Because you do show and you shine the light of wisdom, the things that you've already learned. You don't need someone else to validate you because you've already validated yourself, which is the most powerful part of this. And so the Hierophant is the teacher. Sometimes can be a little stern because you're not going to casually entertain a foolish decision. You're not going to casually entertain a foolish option. This is about being truthful. This is about being upfront and honest. So water, before we get into the oracle cards here, I just want you to really pat yourself on the back because you've achieved a great deal, and I'm hearing very loudly that you've done all of this in an extremely short period of time to other people's amazement. They didn't expect you to make it this far. They didn't expect you to actually succeed because of the challenges where you started, but you did. So Water, you're doing really well here. Let's hop over into our oracle cards. We'll pull 3 cards just to kind of get a little clarification for the reading, maybe answer a question or two, just see how things play out. If you're asking a question, you can go ahead and push pause, ask your question, and then we'll see what the cards bring up. Otherwise, we'll just hop right on in here. I have to say, this card has been coming up really popular lately. It's number 51, Stars in the Sky with Limitless Possibility. Water, you've already proven you don't have a lot of restrictions in how far you're willing or able to go, or how willing you're wanting to go too, because the stars in the skies are basically, from our perspective, limitless. We have no idea how many there are. God Source Divine does, but we mere mortals don't. This is saying you have every option. You have every right to pick a different path. As long as you're not harming other people, you are ready to make these decisions because you've achieved this plateau area where you came up the mountain to a certain extent. The universe is saying you've already completed one part. The stars in the sky are saying, how far are you willing to go next? Because you are really in that position to make that decision to grow further once again, which is pretty cool. Your second card is number 43, Overflow, Overwhelm, and Plenty. Water, you have stepped into a place where the options are overwhelming. That's part of that stars in the sky thing. And that's where you have to make the decision. But the universe card says, take time, take a breath, pause, celebrate how far you've come, celebrate the things you've achieved. And by doing so, it's going to relieve some of this overwhelm. The overflow of abundance is where it comes into the sharing with the outcome card, the 3 of fire, or the 3 of wands, and then the 6 of pentacles. You're willing to share, you're willing to show, you're willing to expand, but you're doing so from a conscious state. You're not doing so from an emotional, oh, I'm just going to give everything away. That's not what the energy is coming in. It's saying from your overflow, share what you are available. Share your knowledge, share your wisdom. It might be donating time to a soup kitchen. It might be donating money to your local veterans association. Whatever it is, your overflow and your abundance, you're being reminded you have been gifted massive amounts. You can share as you go, but there's not a requirement for it. The overflow is literally saying you have so much more than you ever asked for. What are you going to do with it? So it's basically be active as you give and receive to energy, build that cycle. So you have as your final card, number 54, the Crossing, which is also called Initiation. Before I show this, Water, you have completed a path. You're ready for the next level. I want you to really think as you go forward this month, what do you want to do next? Because you're the one that writes your path. You're the one that writes the script. You were the one that writes on the billboard in the sky, as Neil Donald Walsh used to say. You're the one that makes that. Where do you want to go next? Because your initiation is now. You have completed a great deal. You've come to the end of a journey. And now it's time to start the next branch. What direction do you want to take? What path do you want to initiate yourself onto? Or if you're in like Golden Dawn or one of the Wiccan covens, you're ready to initiate into the next level, obviously. But what are you learning? What are you taking with this? And how far are you willing to go with this next leg of your journey? Most people will say as far as I can, which is great. But you have to make that as a personal decision, Water. And this is a really powerful time to make that decision because we are moving in out of Samhain, which was where the Lord went into the underworld. We're in a time of rest and quietude right now, a time of reflection until the Solar Lord is reborn at Yule. This energy right through here is the crossing. This is your initiation into the next level. What are you willing to create? What are you wanting to initiate in the next steps of your life? The pen is in your hand. You're the one who gets to make the decision. So with that, So a lot of things to think about here, water. I hope you have a great rest of the month of November. If you're in the United States, have a happy and peaceful Thanksgiving. Have a just overall good fall energy going on, and I will see you in the next video.